Good morning, Smarties. How's everyone doing this morning? Almost afternoon, but it's not. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, and I'm so glad to have you all here. Yeah, it's school vacation week here in Massachusetts, so we're a little bit off our schedule, but it is so awesome because we are like soaking in all of the moments with the Bank Smart Tots and having so much fun. We went and got breakfast this morning at this awesome restaurant in New Hampshire. It was such a nice little drive and um, so delicious. So that was great. Anyone else on vacation this week? Or is it just like, I know New Hampshire is not on vacation this week, they're next week. But I don't know like how many people across the US are on vacation. This means we're in the countdown for the school year. And like, what a perfect day, right? It's so nice and sunny. It's not super hot. But today is actually National Teach Children to Save Day. And there's a couple like banks and credit unions near us that are hosting little events and stuff. So we may check that out later. I'm not sure because little C does have some money to deposit. She's been saving and doing a little shopping. Um, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie and Cormier. I am the host here at The Carrie Show. For everyone in my life who has told me it's not The Carrie Show, it sure is. A little bit about me. I'm a financial services executive by trade, currently taking a much needed sabbatical from corporate life and using that time and energy to just focus on all the passion projects, one of them being Bank Smart Studio. So I'm so excited to be chatting with you all today. My background is in retail and digital banking. Although that's where I've spent most of my career, my heart and my passion is in marketing and social media. And you'll see that a lot of the things that we talk about is through that lens. So most days, I feel like a digital banking girl in a passbook savings world. So that's what we're here to talk about here at the studio. Talk about all the ins and outs of banks and credit unions and what's going well, what needs to be improved, and just all the real talk that they're not saying at conferences or on panels or on other shows because we're keeping it real, Smarties. We are keeping it real. I'm just going to move my screens a little bit. Shout out in the chat where you're joining in from. We've had some really great people joining us from all over the country, and it's so fun because this is a topic that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. So many times, like, we don't fit in professional development and networking into financial services unless it's forced. If we're doing like a local trade organization event, or we're taking our annual compliance training online, just next, or we're listening to a webinar. But this is really a conversation hub. This is for us to like take ideas, pick them apart, sprinkle some other stuff in, and just get really excited about it. Because I feel like we're not doing that enough. Like, we need to be fun and like exciting and all of that. So I'm just moving this around. Thank you all so much for joining our Tuesday night shift show. So when we do shows at night, those are a little off the rocker, a little unscripted, a little more unhinged, and just kind of all the fun things. So this week we had little C on the show, and she was so excited to talk about teach children to save and all of her ideas about saving and spending and budgeting. And as you can see, some of it was like all over the place, but she really at like 6 years old has such a great foundation and understanding of money and how to prioritize spending. And I just look back at myself and I didn't have that as a kid, and no fault of anyone's. It's just like, it feels like such a necessary topic to be talking about. And my boys are 4, and so that's, we talk to them about monies too. They got one of their Easter cards last night, and they each had some dollars in it, and so we'll make sure we take that to the bank and start to incorporate them into the learning as well. They definitely have had a different learning style than my daughter. Um, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say they're behind, but I feel like she was so much more attuned to the world around her at a young age, and they're a little more, let's see, I want to say playful. Like she was curious and had questions, and they're a little more imaginative and exploratory. And I think it's two different like personality traits and learning styles, but definitely it's something that we talk to them about, and they know that they save their dollars, and they're not so much into buying things right now at the store. It comes here and there, so those are lessons and stuff we'll introduce as they come. They're pretty good about not wanting to get everything, although we had a situation. And now, if you're a twin parent, which I know there's a lot of you out there that watch this show that are actually twin parents, you'll understand. So we went to there's this thing called Camp X, which is like different experiences. So they have like a Bluey camp, they have a Paw Patrol camp, different experiences like all over the country. And it's kind of like a store, but then it has like a play experience, and you get to meet the characters. And so we went to Camp Bluey Boston this week, and the twins both had like a yellow dump truck in their hands with Bluey, and it was like so inflated of a price. It was like $30 for this dump truck. And I'm like, I'm not buying you both $30 dump trucks. You or one have so many dump trucks, but just this one has Bluey. You know, I want it because we're here at the store. So I said, you guys can each pick one thing. And one of my twins wanted the Bluey dump truck, and the other one wanted a Sonic the Hedgehog backpack, which was great because that was 70% off. We love deals at the studio. We love teaching kids how to shop for deals, right? That's not just teaching kids to save, it's teaching them how to spend their money wisely. And so little Everett wanted his Sonic backpack. So I was like, yes, love that for you. 70% off, let's do it. So he was happy with his backpack. Joey was happy with his dump truck. Don't we get home and Everett has a fit because he wants a dump truck now? All you twin parents that are like ahead of me on this journey, you're like, duh, of course they needed the same thing. Of course, like, I'm surprised you're not complaining about needing another Sonic Hedgehog backpack. Like, I try to treat them individually, and I hope that they don't like fall into that, oh my gosh, we both need the same. They need the same thing. And that probably would happen if they weren't twins, if they were just two kids in the same age. But that was a fail on my part. So of course I go online and I'm like, don't worry, buddy, we'll get one and we'll order it for tomorrow, and Bluey's going to deliver it to us. No, he wants to go back. I said, no, it's an hour away. We're not going back. So Bluey delivered to us. And by the way, it was almost a third of the price. A little more than a third. Maybe 40% of the price. So for $13, I got a dump truck, and it came in the mail. By then, he's already forgotten about it. So I'm like, it's still in the Amazon package. I'm like, do I just wrap it up and bring it back to Amazon? It's brand new. Or do I keep it until he remembers that he really wanted it? I'm still on the fence. But that's the part about teaching kids to save and spend. That's like always evolving and always changing. And it's interesting. So we had a great time, and there's always a money lesson snuck inside there somewhere. But little C just had so much fun sharing all about her story. You guys gave her so many questions that we didn't even get to all of them. She's actually might come back. She's thinking about it. She's trying to decide if she wants to do it again or not. Do you guys want her back? It was actually one of our highest viewed shows, probably because she has a huge fan club. Everyone loves little C. Like people were texting me after. They're like, "Oh my god, I was sitting in a restaurant watching Little C's show," or I was on the go, but I couldn't miss Little C's show." And then we had a bunch of friends on the replay crew that were texting me after, like, "Oh my gosh, she did such a great segment." We had so much fun, and it's so cool to see, like, at 6 years old what her brain thinks about. And she always brings up some good things. Like, she showed you her Pokemon binder, and we did her gymnastics comp tryouts yesterday, like she talked about. And after, I'm like, let's go for a little treat, because she had wanted to go get another Pokemon, of course. So I found this spot near us that did like comics and Dungeons and Dragon type stuff, and they had like Pokemon. So we go there, and some of the cards were like such a good deal. Like they're the casual, like loose cards that are like 25 cents each or 5 for $1, which was like awesome, because we're just powering through them and picking pretty colors. But then they also had a little binder that had a little more higher scale, but they weren't quite the expensive collector's cards. So maybe they were like $1.99 to like $7.99 or whatever. And she wanted a couple of those because they were sparkly. And there was a Wigglypuff, which apparently is cool. So for $4.99, we got a Wigglypuff. And I was like, "Caroline, like, I don't want to buy this." And she's like, "But mommy, it's my money and I've been saving." And I'm like, "Okay, you got me, girl. You got me." Saving doesn't always mean, and I forget this myself, saving doesn't always mean hoarding money to not spend it. Saving means putting aside money for goals and celebrating when you achieve those goals. And it was so nice of her to remind me of that, because I like come from such a place of like scarcity when it comes to money. And like I feel like there's not enough, in that like I just want to make sure that like everything's okay for our family. And that's like probably deeply rooted in some trauma. But I have a hard time, like we've talked about, like with emergency funds. Emergency funds are there to spend when you need to in an emergency, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I read a really good article about encouraging people to spend their emergency funds when they need to, because that's the point of them, and there's no shame in using it. And she reminded me yesterday that there's no shame in using your savings when you're saving for something. Like, so she's been saving her holiday money. She gets really nice some cards and gifts and all that. And so she puts her money aside, and like she showed you in her bank, her little ATM in her room, before we put it in our bank account. And she's like, "Mommy, I've been saving for my Pokemon cards." I'm like, "All right, girl, you got me. You're playing me at my own savings game." So it's interesting to see how she internalizes it and then shares it back to me, because I learned so much more seeing it through her lens, and it's really refreshing, and I love it. So when you're doing your teach children to save, if you're doing a celebration at your work, at your company, at your bank, your credit union, whatever, there's not one right way to do it. And it's almost interesting to let the children lead and take it, take note, and let it go where they want it to go. And I'm interested in seeing what everyone's doing. And I have some articles, some around the web news to share that's definitely related to children's and savings and all that. But it's so interesting because a lot of us as banks and credit union leaders focus on teaching children to save once a year. It's a check the box. We did a post. We had a table in our lobby. What are you doing every single day to promote that next level of money savvy kid? So interesting. Let's talk about it. I need a sip. We're going to get right into dishing. Did anyone see Cash App? You guys know where I'm going with this, right? Cash App just announced the launch of accounts for kids aged 6 to 12. Yeah. Yeah. 6 to 12. Now, meanwhile, our compliance teams are all like, oh, you can't offer accounts for kids that like, oh my gosh, there's a debit card. What? I remember having, I'll call them student checkings. And no one actually knew what the age limit was. I think the marketing age was like 15 to 18 or 15 to 17 or something. And the system age was like, no, it was the other way around. It was like 16 to 18, the marketed age. And then it was like 15. And I'm like, I'll open it at 12. So eventually it just became 12 because Carrie said so. Was that the right way to do it? Maybe not. Maybe there should have been a risk assessment or a conversation with compliance or operations. But if you change the age in the system to 12, it just magically becomes 12 and put it in the policy and procedure because Carrie said so. But when you're like a high functioning strategist like me, and this is like 10 years ago, you just know, right? You know the right things to do. You know the way to get business, and like you're missing a moment if you're not moving fast enough. And sure, is there too fast? Maybe. But like if your strategy is sitting around and waiting for kids to turn a certain age, if you're okay, let me put it this way. If your youth strategy starts at 13, like your total youth strategy, we're not talking about checking accounts, right? We're talking about your total youth savings account, whatever strategy starts at 13, you're already over 7 years too late. Okay. Like, I mean, should we be offering them when they're born? Absolutely. But beside that, like if you're not starting at like 6, okay, ish, like that is like prime age. Like my daughter, like the twins are 4, right? They don't really understand as much. But she gets it. And she's gotten it for at least a year. So if you're not starting like at an age where kids can understand and visualize, you've already lost it. Because the big one today, Cash App, made the move that every banking credit union should be paying attention to. They officially launched account for kids ages 6 to 12, not teens, okay? Not getting ready for high school. First grade. First grade. Let that sink in for a second. And this isn't like just a cute, oh, let's teach kids to save feature. This is a land grab for the next generation of customers. And it starts way earlier than most of us are thinking. Like, here's what's happening, okay? Kids can earn interest on savings, get money from parents, a small circle of trusted contacts. They can set savings goals and even design their own debit card, which we know kids love. Customization, like if you can like make it cute, make it your favorite color, count me in. And it's all inside a controlled parent experience. Okay, so the adult gets to manage the money. It's safe, it's educational, and most importantly, it's experiential. Okay, and that's the shift. And that's the part banks and credit unions are missing. Now, you can't tell me, and this is where I struggle because, like, can someone inform me how behind I am? Is there a bank or credit union that's doing this? Like, I know there's the green light, right? But that, to me, that's not the same. That's like outside of the bank or credit union experience. Is there a bank or credit union that's doing something like this, like Cash App, that's all within the controlled parent experience? Let's bring it up on the screen. I'm going to do a little checking out of their website because I think this is important. And it's Teach Children to Save Day. So we're talking about children and savings and spending, apparently. Okay, which one do I want? Maybe this one? There's 2. There's like the press release, which I don't. Here we go. The teen banking. Give teens the money they actually want. And I think this is so cool because I saw the other day on like a Facebook post that's like, hey, I'm sending my kid a out with another parent and I want them to be able to spend their own money. We don't have like our bank, which can we talk about that for a second? Like their bank doesn't offer wallet payments. What backwoods place in Massachusetts, nonetheless, doesn't have wallet payments? Like, come on. Okay, so I need to get to the bottom of that because we're going to host an intervention. But they were like, I'm trying to think of other ways. Like, could I offer them like or let them have like what else could they use to pay in a store, right? And so this is like a super awesome solution. Obviously, they wouldn't have been able to do it right then and there to start them with a card, but this would allow them to be able to do it together. Oh, is that a video? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. All right, we're going to put this one up. Cash App helps families share and put it on the stage because I always forget that. And let's watch the video. Oh, look, there's an allowance feature. Shows spending. Here's the card. Lock, unlock. I love this. A roundups, insight and activity. Let's watch it again. Okay, so the parent or guardian is known as the sponsor. I love that. That's a cool way. And it Lucy's money. It personalizes it. I love this. That's so cool. And I think it's so important because like, and I wonder this myself, like when my daughter goes places, like obviously, like if she's with another parent, I'll say, hey, like just let me know what I owe you or whatever. But like children like to feel empowered, like with some money. And like I know like my daughter loves paying when we go out. And I just think like letting her have a card or something would be so important, especially like as she starts doing more things. I mean, she's only in first grade, right? But having that, like, we're going to call it like financial empowerment. I always had like, as a kid, and maybe this is just rooted in my own anxieties, but I was always like, oh my gosh, I'm going out with a friend and my parents give me $40. Like, I don't feel if it's enough. And not that I needed hundreds of dollars, but like, I don't know if I understood. And I think that like spilled over into my adult life where like in high school I'd be going out, and this was like just at the pre-debit card stage. Like I didn't get a debit card until I was 18 and had my first checking account. I had like an ATM card because it wasn't really, I think you had to be like back in the early 2000s. I think you had to be 18 or places weren't really opening them for kids much younger. But I remember like being panicked if I didn't have cash on me, or if I was somewhere and I had my debit card, but I wasn't sure like how we were going to split the bill, or like, I don't know. And so if I had $20 on me, but like I had my car, like it was just always like this anxiety of trying to keep within what I had. And I'd love to find a way to be able to take that money anxiety like off of the next generation. And some of it I think comes with the tools, right? Having a debit card like this, having access and understanding, and like an app, because like apps weren't a thing back then. But also like the understanding and the knowledge and the education behind it, and what are your alternatives and all of that. So I think that's so important. And so in this industry, like we've spent years talking about financial literacy. And I worked with a colleague, a very dear friend of mine, who would say to people when anytime in their annual review or when they talk about something, they're like, I'm striving. And he goes, okay, well, we're done striving. It's time to arrive. It's time to arrive. And I think of that when I read mission statements or things like about financial literacy, like we strive to deliver, like, dude, people, it's time to arrive. There's no more striving for financial literacy. It is time to arrive, people. Why is this not at the core of everything that we do? Like teaching, explaining, posting content once in a while during financial literacy month. That's cool. But meanwhile, like fintechs are like, yeah, let's just give it to them. Meanwhile, banks and credit unions are like 35 meetings and a partridge in a pear tree. Like, can't we just get it done? And I hope there's people on there that are like, duh, Carrie, we're doing it. We're slaying it. We've already been doing it. I love that for you. I want to see more of that. Let's highlight you. I think that's so exciting. Because what I've seen, and I'd love to do a roundup. Maybe we should do that of like kids accounts, the best programs, features, all that, to draw some inspo off of it. Because again, like none of this is like top secret proprietary information. Like when it comes to accounts, we're pretty much all the same. It comes down to execution and brand and all that and community. So it'd be great to do like a roundup, but it's time to arrive. Like what I can't stop thinking about is like for decades, the first account moment belonged to banks and credit unions. You went into a branch, you got a little folder. Okay. Maybe a lollipop if you were lucky. It's always about the lollipop. I remember like being in the back of my dad's van when he'd go to the drive up and I'd be like, hey, like trying to say something so that they would know there was a kid in the car because it wasn't like, it was a tube so you couldn't see the window, but I was like, hi. Like, oh, is there a kid there? Would you like a lollipop? Yes. Because, you have to make sure, because I don't know if dad was going to ask for the lollipop. You had to make sure you got one. And not root beer. No one likes the root beer lollipops. All right. Or the grape. Yuck. I wanted a red one. Okay. Or a pink because they were delicious. Maybe even I would take a lemon. The yellow ones were pretty good. Like, and we're talking when they used to be the flat lollipops, not the round dum-dums. I'm a flat lollipop girly. The dum-dums, like, I don't know. They never really hit. People like them now, but think about it. That was the beginning of the banking relationship. Now, that moment might happen on a phone before a kid even knows what a branch is. How many people like know what a bank branch is? I think the only reason my daughter knows is because that's like my background. But think about it. Custom cards, automated allowances, roundup, savings goals that actually feel visual and interactive. Like it's giving Roblox meets banking. And that's the kid's first experience with money. And that then becomes the expectation. When they don't necessarily know about money or cards, but they know that they need to fund their game credits. Right? And like, if you look at, I'm going to pull this up again, their actual feature page, not the video. Let's back it up. Team. Is this the family page? Yeah. Okay. All right. Ooh, this is so cute. I'm putting it up. Hold on. I know. I didn't forget it on the screen this time. Okay. Like 3.25% interest. And that's, I think, one of the things that I see. Let's look at the footnote. So footnote number 2. Boopity boop. Fine print. We got to read the fine print. Oh my gosh, that small. Cash App will pass through a portion of the interest paid on the savings balance held in account that benefit Cash App customers at Wells Fargo. To earn the highest interest rate on your Cash App balance, you need a Cash App card or sponsor or and receive at least 300 in direct deposits each month or have a sponsor with sponsored approval to earn interest. Okay, yeah. So that's not like because here's what I see a lot, right? It's you earn a high interest rate on the first $1,000. Like what is it? DCU has like 5.25 or something crazy like that. But it's on the first 1,000, which is great, right? But why can't you just pay kids that good interest? Bring it down a little bit and make it on the whole balance. Now you're probably thinking, duh, Carrie, they did the numbers. Kids don't save that much. If they do, their parents have investment accounts for them. Okay, fair. I understand that. But if they don't have that much in there, why not pay for the whole balance? And then you think, okay, well, maybe parents will just put the kid on the account and stash their money there. And then that circumvents them from using a regular savings account, that they're using the kid savings account as a shell. I'm just like thinking this through out loud, as a shell to earn the higher interest rate. Okay, maybe. Maybe that's happening. Yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, wow, that's great, and it's a great way to show the kids that they can earn money on their money. I love that. So good, so good. But I feel like the interest rate, it's not just a feature. They're making a statement that they're going all in on this for kids because they know that they're growing a new ecosystem. They're not just acquiring customers, they're growing them inside the Cash App ecosystem. This isn't just a kid's account, it's a pipeline. Think about it. Ages 6 to 12 rolls into teen accounts, rolls into a full platform usage. Now, I know Venmo has a kids account, but I don't recall them saying that they're going 6 to 12. They have like a teen Venmo, right? Am I right? Am I right? Right? All right. So this is kind of the first like real dive into it, and they could be capturing the market share. I think this is just so cool. Why can't we do it? Now, why hasn't there been a fintech that will come up with a teen feature like this? Because it's funny because like every time I talk to a mobile banking provider, when you're doing like an RFP or something, and like for example, I wanted savings buckets like Ally, right? So that was like my feature that would have sold me on any digital banking provider. So I remember talking with one and I said, hey, can you do savings buckets? Oh, of course we can do savings buckets. We can do like, yeah, oh, that's so easy. Next question. Okay, well, they can't. All right. They have these little savings goals that are like so awkward, and you have to like try to play them because it like just puts money into the like it's just so confusing. And I'm like, no, like I want it to look like it's actually an account, not like it's just it doesn't work. You lied to me. Should I have done due diligence? Yes. Should I have said show me? Yes. They probably showed me, but they probably showed me something not in production. I feel duped. Because they always say how great it is. And like, show me a banking provider that's why aren't they like, yay, you can do transfers, woohoo, like that's entry fee. Like those are the shoelaces that come with the sneakers, okay? I need more than that. Like, why are we not offering this stuff within the app already? Fintechs, let's catch us there. Come on. It's so crazy because like I hated when I was working in financial services, and now being a millennial myself, the conversation was always like, oh man, we got to target the millennials. I'm like, you've already missed the boat. Millennials already have jobs. They're already executives in financial services. Like we're already buying houses. We're like, sure, you can try to win them over at certain like key points in their life, but you've already missed the boat. Let's focus on the next generation, Gen Z, right? And now I feel like most places have already missed the boat on Gen Z because they're already like going to college. Like there are like Gen Z is doing big things right now. So like we got to focus on Gen Alpha, and the time is now, people. It's time to arrive. So it's so wild because if I'm like replaying things in my mind, it's like, what are we focused on? We're focused on young and up and coming families. Okay, well, that's not what our marketing shows. Our marketing shows we're only targeting CD customers because they have high dollar balances. And if if your average age skews over 60, your marketing strategy is not reflecting what you're actually doing. Like the math isn't mathing because every place is like, oh man, we want young and up and coming families. And why aren't you actually like putting your marketing spend where your mouth is and focus on young and up and coming families instead of just running CD specials? Like, so that was our first around the web news. I came across this. I'm going to see if I can pull this up just for fun because a lot of my inspo comes from just scrolling the socials. And that's one of the reasons why I say I'm like a social media nerd at heart, because when I see this stuff like on my feed, this is where I get inspired. So here's an example. Can we zoom in? I don't know. Oh, maybe I can if I move it like this. No. Okay. Can I zoom in here? No. Okay. We're going to learn to zoom. But this was someone, fintech Kristen and Cash App retweeted, today we're launching Cash App accounts for kids ages 6 to 12. Parents manage the accounts. Kids get to learn about safety, start for savings goals, and design and use their own debit card. Next generation of banking never looked so good. Proud of the team on this one. I love this. And I'm assuming that she's a member of Cash App. So it's so cool to have like your actual product team or your executives tweeting out and sharing, and look at the like reach it got versus just coming from the brand page. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day about like getting executives in financial services engaged on social, how to do it well, how to do it in a way that feels authentic. And that's hard. But sometimes it comes to just being out there or having their executive admin queue up some good content. So I don't know if she's probably posting herself, but I think this is so, so cool and a great way to share and amplify that message. And it caught my eye. That's where I saw it on social. Another one I saw on social. So this is number 2 in around the web this week. Ready? Lending Club. Do you guys know where I'm going with this? They're rebranding. So Lending Club has always been like very interesting to me. I had some people I went to college with that worked there because they worked at a financial place in another town near me, and they were acquired by Lending Club. And I remember being there in class with them, like while they were going through all the stages of the acquisition. And I thought that was like, it was very interesting. So let's pull this up. Their new name, Happen Bank. Because their thought is that they're expanding outside of just lending. Makes sense, right? Why call yourself Lending Club if you do more than lending? And they're going to talk about why they're doing that. So let's put this up on the screen and share a little. They did a really cool video.
This is real life. It's fast, it's crazy, it's beautiful. But real life needs real money. In 2006, we founded Lending Club and made borrowing easier. It worked. You made that clear. And we knew we could help even more, beyond loans. We could have just become lending, checking, savings, whatever else you need club. But instead of a name that described what we offer, we chose one that reflects why we exist. We are Happen Bank. Because life doesn't stand still, and neither do you. So So we added more ways to help people move forward, to make your money work harder for you, for when you finally learn to start expecting the unexpected, for when someday turns into today. For when plans change and become something even bigger. We are changing banking so it works now and for what happens next. It's decisions in moments, not weeks. Keeping more of what you earn and earning more from what you save. And rewards that actually feel like a reward. We built a digital-first bank designed to deliver better rates and outcomes because we believe smart banking adds up to better living. It's your life. You're making it happen. We're here to clear the way. Happen Bank.
Now, this intrigues me for a couple reasons. So it says that they're going to, I think, have more to share, like start rolling out the branding in like July. And their website is meethappen.com, which I think is very interesting. I think a lot of things are interesting, but I'm going to look at this lending club because I saw a cool tidbit. I think it was on PR Wire. Let me just see if I can find it. Was there a press release? One of the things that I like what they said, I wrote down, we could have just called ourselves the Whatever Else You Need Club. And like, that's a fun play on like their name and their backstory. And I like how they kind of like poke fun at that. Now, if I have to tell you, oh my gosh, I can't hate this. A brand built for momentum. I just used that on something. Weird. Interesting. So the name Happen Bank is intentional. It signals action, progress, and forward momentum. The new brand identity reflects this energy with a dynamic word mark and a modern visual system that stands apart from traditional banking conventions. I am like, so if I'm, picture me, because I've gone through name changes, brand changes, whatever. I'm an executive sitting at a table. If I'm sitting there and you came to me and you said, okay, ready? Happen Bank. I'd be like, who the paid you to come up? Like, what do you just like open up the dictionary and come up with words? We paid how much for this? Happen? You could like, there's been some like rebrands that I've just been like, what it, like, I remember like, should I do it? Should I like, okay. I remember when, now this is very niche and very regionalized. So most of you across the country are not going to understand this, but in our area, there were two banks that came together. Spencer Bank or Spencer Savings and Southbridge Bank or Southbridge Savings, whatever. And I'm like, wow, these are two they were kind of cool at the time, I thought, just from afar. And they were merging and they kind of like created this like little bank. And I'm like, wow, this is a great time. Because I felt like they both had similar brand, like they were both, I think, greenish yellow colors. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. They have I was excited to see, because I had known some of the retail people at both of them. They were pretty progressive. And I'm like, I can't wait to see what this is going to be. You know what their name was? Cornerstone Bank. And their colors were like burgundy and gray. And like not even cute text. I was like, these are such like pivotal moments to like rebrand yourself. And like Cornerstone, like you might as well have picked First Old National, like sturdy bank and trust. Cornerstone, it's the best you could do. The same thing. There was another one near me. I don't want to crap on them because I love them, but there was two banks coming together. One was North Middlesex Savings and the other one was Marlborough Savings. So both like towns-ish. And I'm like, oh man, they were like in my direct market area. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be like a power player. What are they going to be? Main Street Bank. You have all the opportunity in the world to like really break out, and you pick Main Street. Like, I'm disappointed. But again, would I have chosen Happen Bank? I might have thought that was a little weird. But I'm in love with it. I think this is so good. I'm excited to see where it goes. I love the colors. I love the vibe. The commercial like launch thing was good. And it's also a digital, right? So would they drop bank and just call it Happen? Meet Happen? I don't know. Happen in. There's so many options they can do here. Let's see if we go to their website. It's becoming it's so cute. And like I love this. Learn more. Yeah. I don't know. There's something here. And I like the logo. I like the font. I like the color. It's not blue. It's not green. It's not burgundy. Like, there's so many banks and credit unions are so boring. Let's like liven it up a bit. And now I'm going to say, because I was looking at bad bank and credit union branding online, and we're going to do a fun show on this. We're going to do like a bit. This one I might show prep for. But it made me think of like, maybe not everything is meant to be fun. Okay? Maybe that'll run you out of business. Okay, if you don't want to be fun, maybe you're not going to survive. Sure, that's my hot take. Okay, you're not going to survive. But like, I was looking because I don't know how to say this appropriately. Like, maybe there's a space for the boring and the stuffy. Maybe that becomes like vintage and retro in the new like blue ocean or white ocean. What's the theory? The white ocean? Blue ocean? What is it? Blue ocean. Yeah, blue ocean strategy. Like maybe that's going to be like an open market space. And I thought about this because I was like talking about like consulting for some banks and credit unions that had asked me to do some work for them. And I'm like, how do I package and take what I'm doing and not make them fun? Because it would be so off brand. And I think about it, and a lot of the things when it comes down to marketing is you have to be true to your brand and your market and your consumers, and like otherwise it doesn't feel authentic. And just because it's not something that I think is fun or sexy doesn't mean it would like it's not right for their group. And so it really made me think outside of my own box of about like, okay, maybe the Carrie way of fun and shiny isn't always the best option. It's the best option. Okay, like we know that. But like in the long run, but like if you're talking about First National Bank and Trust Safety and Security of Arkansas, there's not much you can do with that. So, like, unless you're going to rebrand to something fun, like Happen, or like First National Bank Safety and Security of Arkansas, NUBSASA, like if you come up with an acronym, SASA Bank, like you got to really be true to yourself. And I think that's something that I want you all to take away from this is, you know, we're going to spitball fun and crazy ideas here at the show. And, you know, but it's not a one size fits all approach. And yes, you have to innovate, but you have to think about what innovation and moving the needle means for your organization. And if you're in like a certain community or like ethnic group or whatever it is for like your culture, for your what you surround yourself with, like I'm thinking some of them might not be, if you're in different cultures, might not like, oh, what is this Happen Bank? It doesn't sound like secure. I don't know if I want to put my money there. Like, this looks too fun and fly by night. Like, I need something that shows like strength and institution. And I can't believe I'm saying this right now. But I'm learning that there are like pockets of the US and in like very cultured communities that look for that. And you okay. Does anyone remember Berkshire Bank? So, okay, everyone knows Berkshire Bank, at least out this way. They've recently changed to Beacon Bank. But do you remember? I want to say they partnered with Adrenaline. They were doing a giant brand launch on stage, like a rebrand. And I want to say it was, and I'm probably getting all of this wrong, but like at an ABA Bank marketing conference or something like that, they had won a rebrand and they were going to reveal it live on screen. Let me see if I can find this. We got to talk about this real quick. And of course, when I search that, the only thing that's going to come up is Beacon Bank because that's their latest rebrand. Berkshire Bank. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this. It was so like, oh my gosh, am I sharing this? No, okay, good. Okay, I don't want that. That's a digital marketing agency. This was like Berkshire Bank, let's see, live rebrand launch. That's not going to come up. We're going to do pink logo. Maybe. Oh, there's a 5 Forces logo. Okay, what is this? Okay, that's a website. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm committed to this, so you guys have to hang out. But like I remember, it was like, oh, here we go. Nope, that's their X logo. And it was like, so they did this huge brand launch, this huge reveal on stage because they had like won this rebrand with like whatever it was. I'm going to say it was Adrenaline, but I don't know if it was. I don't want to shame them. Not that I thought anything was wrong with it because I don't remember. Oh, here we go. Is this it? But it was like hot pink. And they had this big X. And I think it's around, so in 2015, they rolled out their X with America's most exciting bank, which I didn't really understand because like there's no X in Berkshire. And I don't know. Maybe you just didn't like hit my demographic and I didn't think like that was interesting. Unveils new logo. It's Mass Live. But then it was like, it was supposed to be that they were going to relaunch it with that. And it was like crickets. Nothing happened. And everyone's like, what? There was this whole big like hype and launch. I'm seeing some pink logos, but I don't think it's the Berkshire Bank that I'm thinking of. Could be. No, that's a different. This was like, let's see. Maybe the internet. Oh. Maybe the internet has scrubbed it. How much did you pay Berkshire to have this scrubbed? Yeah, I'm not finding it. But it was a good like 11 years ago. Okay. Anyway, I'll find it and we'll talk about it. But it was like hot pink. Hot pink. And they did this huge launch at whatever conference it was. And like then it was like crickets. They just dropped it. I'm looking to see. I'm getting texts on the Smarty hotline. Let's see. Okay. It's not about that. It's about something else. Okay, no. But it was like so wild. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, I'm gonna tell you, if you have a bad brand launch, it's okay not to launch it. Like I was at a place that was like, oh yeah, we rolled out a crappy brand, but what was I supposed to do? I'm like, you were supposed to stop it? Like, because it costs more to roll out a crap brand and then have to rebrand again in 8 months. You could have stopped it. Like, don't act like a martyr. You could have stopped it. And like I was talking with someone the other day about like what was like my one moment where you're balancing like customer and business and you had to make a really big decision that maybe cost some money or cost some reputational risk, whatever. And one of the moments in my career, and this is like a side note, but we're gonna talk about it, was my team was rolling out Yodely. I'm sorry, I said it, Yodely. Okay, if you're watching, Yodely, we know what Yodely. Okay, Yodely does Yodely things. It's not great. Okay, maybe it's come a long way, but it's not great. And so this was back when you're like trying to like, I'm gonna say, try to beat MX at the money game. Like you can't. MX is MX. Like, especially so many years ago, like grab life by the bubbles, okay? You couldn't beat that. But when your core processor is bundling up Yodely and trying to give it to you, and you take it, not me, but the operations team, and this is what happens when operations is in charge of digital strategy, okay? They pick Yodely, and they're like, oh, well, we're just going to roll it out. And I remember being part of the project team, and I was not the executive sponsor, and I'm like, what is going on here? We're paying for this. The project, and now this might not be an indication of Yodely, although in my opinion, I think it is. This could be an indication of the integration and how it was like stripped down through the core processor, maybe. Probably it was a Yodely thing, but it was so bad. I'm like, no one's ever going to use this. Why are we paying for it? Why are we putting our time and energy into launching it and testing it? Like, and this is when like operations gets it ready, asks you to come in at the last minute. And then they say, okay, we need you to train, we need you to market, and we need you to launch and roll it out. And oh, by the way, you need to get this many users and adoption to make it worth our while. That, hell no. I was like, okay, I'm gonna step in and be the adult in the room, and we're gonna have a serious conversation about gassing this project literally the day before launch. You know why? Because this is going to cause more reputational risk and time and energy. And I don't care if we have a sunk cost into this already. Like, the perception that we should just continue to sink more resources into this is crap. Don't do it. So we ended up like pulling the plug, and I got, I would say, 60% of our money back. I don't think I got all of it. But then, of course, we didn't have to pay, I don't know, $4,000 a month to have the Yodely integration. That story keeps telling itself over and over and over, because in subsequent lives, Yodely comes back from the dead. But like, you can't be afraid to like do the right thing. And if there's a project that you know is going down the track and it's going to cause you more reputational harm, more time and energy and drain off your team members that just don't love it and believe in it, gas it, pull it. It's okay. Take the heat. And like for executives, they're like, oh, well, what was I supposed to do with a brand launch? It was already broken. Gas it. Say no. Be a leader. Okay? It's okay. Berkshire did it. They could have been hot pink. Would I have loved that? Probably. Their beacon branding now is pretty nice. I like it. A little different. Don't know if I would have, I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. It's nice and steady without being First National Bank and Trust. So that's a long way of saying, watch out. Lending Club is now going to be Happen Bank. Did we get there? We got there. And again, I found this one on the Twitter, the X, because one of the reporters at American Banker had shared the article. So I love sourcing my around the web ideas from the socials. And we just have one more that we're going to just talk quickly about, because I don't want to I don't know enough about it, but I'm seeing, and maybe this is an old thing, but I'm seeing a lot of new banks and credit unions partnering with Zogo. And I had to look into this because I hadn't heard of Zogo. So shout out if you know what Zogo is. Do you know what Zogo is? Zogo. It sounds like BOGO. Buy one, get one. It sounds like a deal. Maybe you'd think it was like a rewards. Maybe you'd think it was like a P2P, like a Venmo, a Zogo. I'm going to Zogo you $20. No, we were closer with the rewards. So Zogo is a financial literacy, like gamified platform. And you can earn rewards for learning how to manage your money. So it kind of, when I looked at it, it reminded me of Noom, like, you know, the like fitness, weight loss, like app Noom that has like, it's supposed to have like a psychology background where you do these little like games or take these little learning modules. And then it's supposed to help you like crack the code for like living a healthier lifestyle. I say like, because I'm not sure it does, but it does. And then it's like really expensive. We've all been down that road, right? Shout out to the replay crew, by the way. We haven't shouted out to the replay crew. So if you're watching at home, not live, we do go back and look at the comments. So drop your questions, comments, ideas in the chat. We love the replay crew. You could be watching on your ride home. You could be watching on the gym, on the treadmill, the elliptical, pumping some weights. Maybe you're just driving to work, driving home, brushing your hair, doing your makeup, combing your beard. Thank you for being part of the studio community. We love you. We also love our live viewers. This is so fun. I'm like, I could talk to you guys all day, but you're going to kick me off soon. So anyway, Zogo. I'm seeing places partnering with it recently, and I want to try it out. So it doesn't appear, the ones I've seen don't appear to be completely white labeled. Like you have to go to a Zogo app and download it and put in the Bank of Credit Union's promo code. So I'm going to try this out and then we're going to talk about it. But it kind of reminds me of like Banzai or like Everfi. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And now I've been on demos with all of them, and there's no shade on any of them. But I remember like the Banzai model, when I talked to them, they were really cool. You like the vibe, right? And Everfi, they were very similar, I thought, when I saw the demos. And I remember working for a shop that decided to launch Everfi. The marketing team kind of did it out of nowhere. And I do know what the cost was because I saw the SOW after. And I was floored. Not necessarily because I didn't think it was worth it, but because like there was no strategy around it. The marketing person was like, oh, we're launching Everfi. And I'm like, you might want to tell retail. You might want to tell training. You might want to have a plan. Oh, the plan is we're going to launch it and we're going to be financial literacy. And I'm like, why? Because it gives you articles on the website? Because it gives you little modules? Like, how are we going to track this? How are we going to promote this? Like, let's build a whole campaign. Let's go all in. It was like, nope, we're doing it. We're checking off the box. Look what I did. I'm going to put it on my marketing funnel and on my presentation where I talk about like, well, how great I am. That's wonderful. But like, is anyone else seeing through this? Let's like, my message to you is if you're going to launch something like this, whether it's Zogo, whether it's Banzai, whether it's Everfi, whatever it is, whether it's your Cash App checking account, there needs to be a plan and a strategy around it. And like, don't just make financial literacy a check the box thing. Don't make it, oh, we launched EverFi. Now we're done. Not even on the homepage banner on our website. You got to like find it. I bet that didn't last very fast. Should we put the sunglasses on? No. We're wrapping up. But like, don't pay and put out, like, it's not an open checkbook. Maybe it was at the time. I don't know. But like, don't pay and just do all these things just to check the box and say you did it. Like, come up with a plan around it. Like retail training, we'd be all in. But if it's just to check the box, if it's just a post on Teach Children to Save Day, if it's just a post on Earth Day, don't do it. Like, it's a waste of resources, a waste of time, energy, like, and it's too bad because I'm not super familiar with like places that have launched these things and done them well. I'm sure there's plenty out there because they seem to be good tools. But it feels like it's just checking the box. And again, I think the theme of this show is it's not enough to keep striving. It's time to arrive, right? So like if this like strives to makes you strive to be a better financial literacy, like you're not going to get there just by launching a new tool. You have to build a strategy and a plan around it. And we can help in the studio. We can talk about it here. What does a good strategy look like? What is it all comprehensive? Okay. But I thought that was really cool. So I did pull up the website and I want to check it out with you guys really quick. Did I? Zogo? Oh, I did it on my other phone. Just because I want to close the loop on this one. I think it's interesting and I'm going to download it and I'm going to try it. Putting it on stage. Yeah, so gamified education, real world growth. Badges. Who doesn't love me some badges? Okay, give me all the gold stars. So I do like this. So people can earn rewards. Now, I don't know what the rewards equate to, if it's rewards within the Zogo, if it's like rewards within your bank or credit union. We need to look at that. But I'm intrigued. So it's saying that it can embed directly into your digital banking experience, whether it's a website or native app. The one that I saw was not white labeled. It was like this. It was like Zogo, and then put in your, let's use an example here. Put in your Diamond Credit Union promo code. And then there's a standalone desktop web. So I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Again, is it good enough just to launch and say you did it to check the box? No. Are people going to do it right? Maybe. So I think as a jumping off point of financial literacy and teach children to save and all of that, this would be something cool to dig into. And I'd love to talk to any shops that have launched it, what successes they've seen. One of them here in the case study talks about like, oh, we got 400,000 new deposits. Cool. I've given quotes like that before too, but it's all relative. So I'm interested. I'm interested. Cool. So that's that. Yeah, we're going to wrap up for today. I want to shout out to our sponsor for this show. We're going to put up a little banner right here. And I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Regional Home Care. Again, they're based here in New England, and they offer all sorts of medical supplies specifically related to sleep apnea and diabetes care. So we're going to just go on their website real quick because I know a lot of you are like me and you have a CPAP, okay? Like sleep apnea is real, people. And if you, I'm not going to be like a scare tactic or the bearer of bad news, but if you're having trouble sleeping, like it could be sleep apnea. So they're New England's local sleep, respiratory, and diabetes service company. They're phenomenal. Like I told you, my neurologist, this is his place of choice. And they're really great. You can do a lot of the stuff online. And so if you need a new CPAP for traveling, if you need supplies, if you need cleaning stuff, like this is your place to go. Check out their website. They are an incredible sponsor here of the Carrie Show, and I appreciate them so much. And remember, if you're interested, we do have a couple more sponsorship slots open at different levels, and you can connect with us at collab@banksmartstudio.com. All right. And one of us will get back to you, and it could just be me using a fake name. Okay. So it looks like I have an assistant. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to the studio, like the show, and it helps keep the studio running here. And you can stay social with us. Follow us on all the socials at BankSmart Carrie or at BankSmart Studio, and we'll keep this conversation going. Next week, we'll be back to our regular schedule, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. here on YouTube. All right. Thank you so much, Smarties.
Wait, where did she go? Why is this still on? Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye!